Good morning, everyone. I want to thank Dr. Thompson for his opening remarks. Again, my name is Danielle Nierenberg. I am so excited to be here today. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the first Food Tank Summit in the Pacific Northwest. A big thanks to our partners who helped put on today's event, the Natural Resources Defense Council, the Environmental Working Group, Food Action, Grub, and Seattle University. A big round of applause for them all. I love this city, but it's giving me a lot of allergies, so if you see me crying today, it's not because I'm so glad you're all here, although I am, but it's because I can't stop sniffling, so I apologize. It's really exciting for us to be in this part of the United States, a region where there is incredible innovation around food and agriculture, and a region where there's really innovative thinking about both the practices and the policies, as well as the investment that will make the food system environmentally and economically sustainable and socially just, not just for today, but well into tomorrow. Since for many of you, this might be your first introduction to Food Tank, I just want to share with you a little bit about who we are and what our goals are. We're a research and advocacy organization, and our mission is to really highlight stories of hope and success in the food system, both internationally and domestically. I've had this incredible opportunity to travel all over the world, 70-plus countries at this point, interviewing hundreds and hundreds of farmers and scientists and researchers and women's groups and youth groups and other stakeholders in the food system, and really use the Food Tank platform as a way to share their stories. We focus again on innovations that need more attention, more research, and ultimately more funding and investment to be successful. We are nonpartisan, but we do believe we need a food system that puts the needs of eaters and farmers first, while also protecting natural resources. And we want to focus this summit on the kinds of ingredients that are needed to build better food policies. Policies that look not only at the problems that the world is facing, from climate change to lack of access and affordability to healthful food, but understand that we need to take into account the needs of future generations. We need policies that protect workers, women, and youth, as well as improve animal welfare. Policies that consider the need for understanding technology, but also understand that appropriate technologies that combine traditional knowledge with new advancement are the only things that will feed the future. Policies that make sure people are valued over corporations. And the urgency of these issues couldn't be greater. Globally, there are 815 million people who go to bed hungry each night. In the US alone, some 54 million people don't get enough to eat. And in Washington state alone, 1 in 8 people do not get enough food to meet their basic nutritional needs. There are also at least 17 million Americans who live in places where they simply can't get access to healthy or affordable food. While at the same time, we waste 1.3 billion tons of food globally, and in the United States, we waste 40% of all food we produce. In addition, farmers are aging around the globe. In the US, the average age of farmers is 58.3 years old. In sub-Saharan Africa, it's 57 years old. And we need to encourage the youth of tomorrow and to be involved in farming and realize that it can be economically viable. And while women farmers make up 43% of the global agricultural labor force, they often lack access to education and extension services, mentorship, land ownership, and banking and financial services. They lack these resources simply because they are women. And climate change is affecting food production around the globe. Extreme weather events and drought are putting millions of the poorest people in the world at the greatest risk, while also impacting farmers' ability to stay on the farm in places like California and Iowa. And often, and especially right now, there's been a lack of political will to make food policy a priority at the state and national levels. What we've tried to do today, however, is bring together some of the most important problem solvers in the Pacific Northwest and some national leaders who are working on bettering food policy. We're at this very critical moment in the food and policy space. So many of the speakers you'll hear from today, and so many of you in this room, are working on local policies that have potential to be replicated and scaled up and hopefully influence national policy. The real power for improving things like urban agriculture, or mitigating climate change, or improving access to healthy and affordable food is coming from people who are doing the actual work on the ground in their own communities, from villages in Malawi to the city of Seattle. This is an area that's also at the forefront of what's happening in technology in the food and agriculture sector. And as you all know, one of the biggest foundations investing in agriculture, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is located here. A foundation whose decisions have an influence on millions of people all over the world, helping shape what people eat and grow in countries like Ethiopia and India. And those sorts of decisions impact national economies, global trade, and nutrition provided to people all over the world. And because what we're talking about today doesn't only affect the people in this room, we tried to make this event as accessible as possible. We are live streaming the entire day for free with many of our partners pushing the feed all day on Facebook Live, Instagram, YouTube Live, and foodtank.com. I need you to all help make sure that we break Facebook's algorithms and pull out your phone and go to your Facebook app and find Food Tank and make sure that you tell your friends and your organizational partners to watch the live stream today. While you're at it, also take a photo. It doesn't have to be of me, but it can be. And you should post it on Instagram and Twitter using the hashtag #FoodTank. And again, ask people to tune in live right now and watch today's summit. And so that we can pull questions from social media quickly and respond to people who are watching from all over the world, use the hashtag #FoodTank on all your social media platforms. We're also really excited that on campuses across the country, Oxfam America and the Food Recovery Network are hosting Food Tank watch parties at universities. And so we'll be taking questions from those students online today. And again, because Food Tank is not well known in this part of the country, we really want to learn from you what's happening on the ground here on the policy front, and also what farmers, chefs, eaters, funders and donors, and other stakeholders in the food system are doing in fields, kitchens, laboratories, and boardrooms to make the food system here more sustainable. A few rules for today, and there are not many, but they're kind of ones I insist on. We are not here to preach to the choir. We've tried to choose a diverse group of speakers who have really differing opinions. We encourage all of you in the audience to challenge them, respectfully and politely, of course, but to, ask them a lot of questions during the Q&A period after every panel, and also during the breaks and during lunch. We don't want our speakers to have any canned speeches or sound bites. We really want them to speak bluntly and from the heart. Each panel is roughly a 1-hour discussion with time for questions, again, from all of you and everyone who is viewing online. People in the room with questions will have 15 seconds to state their name, their organization, and their actual question. I'm not asking for many presentations from all of you in the audience. We want questions with actual question marks at the end. Thank you. We won't spend a lot of time introducing our keynotes or our panelists, but you will be able to find out more information about them in the programs. And we encourage everyone, again, who is involved in the discussion online to use the hashtag #FoodTank. Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter comments using that hashtag will appear on the live screen, and we will be taking questions again from the online audience. So let me share sort of the rundown of today. We'll start the day with a keynote by Representative Earl Blumenauer from Oregon, followed by a fireside chat with him moderated by Chelsea Lynn of Seattle Magazine. Each of our panels will be preceded by a short keynote from different experts on the different themes of each of the panels. Our first panel will be about agricultural policy for the future, and will be keynoted by John Priotti of the American Farmland Trust, and the panel will be moderated by Chip Giller, the founder of GRIST. The panelists will discuss what's needed to make food policy better for farmers and eaters. The second panel will focus on ways to better advocate for women and youth in the food system, and will be keynoted by Vicki Wild of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and will be moderated by Lindsay Burton from the Seattle Post-Intelligencer. After lunch, which again has been graciously donated by Bon Appetit, we'll have our second fireside chat with one of the coolest chefs, I think, in the country, Renee Erickson, the owner of Sea Creatures. It will be moderated by the also very cool Bethany Jean Clement from the Seattle Times. Our third panel will talk about how cities are leading the way on food and climate policy, and it will be moderated by Mark Musick, a farmer and the co-founder of the Tilth Association, and it will be moderated by Adam H. Callahan from Eater. Our fourth panel will focus on innovations for the future of food, and will be keynoted by Kristen Rainey from the Global Food Program at Google, and it will be moderated by Nicole Sprinkle from the Seattle Weekly. And our final keynote of the day will feature one of the leading advocates and activists in the national food and environment movement, Ken Cook from the Environmental Working Group. So what I'd like to do now is sort of take it down to all of you. I'm really interested in hearing what you all have in mind for today. You know, it's St. Paddy's Day. You could all be at a pub crawl right now. And so what I want to hear from all of you is why you're here. What inspires you? What makes you angry? What do you want to hear from our speakers today? If no one raises their hand, I'm going to put you on the spot and just put this in front of your face. So I'd really love to hear from all of you why you're here. It should be on.
Thank you. My name is Christy Legale. I own a company here in Seattle called Seattle Food Tech. My interest today is to learn more about the recent retraction by the Trump administration for animal welfare rules around organic labeling.
Great question. I'm sure that will come up in the food policy event, but thank you. Anyone else? Hi.
Hello, my name is Cassandra Houghton, Student Leadership Coordinator for a nonprofit here in Seattle called Sustainability Ambassadors. And what I'm here today to learn about is what the different elements we need to create a sustainable food system so that we can envision and start to co-create it together.
I'm going to put you on the spot. What do you think those things are?
I think equal access to food is going to be essential, and so a lot more community farms, both urban, and then as well as lots of support to the people who grow our food. They have one of the most important jobs in the world, and there's many other elements, but that's in short form.
Awesome, thank you. I'm going to go over here. Good morning.
Hi, my name is Chris Ostrander. I'm from Eastern Washington, and I'm here for three main reasons. One is I want to talk to people about the PRIME Act, which is an act in Congress to allow custom houses in-state to process meat and sell it inside the state. Two, I want to end the process. I want a statewide moratorium on the practice of spreading sewage sludge on farmland. And three, we have to address the land access problem for startup farmers. We have to fix farmland preservation so that it turns into farmland preservation and not farm preservation. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you so much. A couple more? Good morning.
Hi, my name is Mary Purdy. I'm a dietitian, and while I'm always looking to gain more education and information about how I can make a difference on that policy and sustainable level, I'm talking to people every single day about food. So I can help people make decisions that are very, very small, but fundamentally will lead to hopefully a larger impact just by the daily decisions they make around what they eat and how they eat.
That's amazing. I'm so glad dietitians and nutritionists are getting more and more involved in these conversations. It's really important. I'm going to come back over here. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Amy Nichols. I am a student at Bellevue College, and I am really concerned about inclusivity in the sustainable food movement. It tends to be something thought of as for people with privilege. I myself, I'm Native American on my mom's side of the family, and I want to hear what panelists have to say about how to bring in communities that are historically underrepresented.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to go in the back, and then I'll try to hit each side, okay? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Betsy Shedd, and I recently moved to Klickitat County. The county seat is Goldendale, Washington. They recently invited Nestle's to come investigate whether or not to bottle water in their neighborhood. I'm desperate to get some agriculture in there that will sustain a community that has excellent access and a fair amount of water.
Thank you. All right, anyone on this side?
Hi, my name is Sarah Mason. I am a student in Southern Arizona, and the program I'm a part of is really based on research and what's healthy and why it's healthy, but there's very little emphasis on how to spread that information and how to get more people involved. And so there's no access to things like this where I'm from.
Okay, again, I'm going to put you on the spot. How do you think you can change that in Arizona?
I mean, I think it really comes down to awareness at this point. Like I said, we have some of the best researchers in the country finding these things out, but they're in the lab every day, and there's not that ability to spread that beyond scientific journals. And while that's great, normal, average people are not going to find that out unless we figure out a way to really promote that.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go to this side. I'm so sorry. I'm going to take 2 more questions because we want to get this program started. Good morning.
Hi, my name's Kathy Visser with Senior Services in Olympia, Director of Meals on Wheels program and member of the South Sound Food System Network. And my interest is to continue to find ways to get healthy organic food into institutional programs like Meals on Wheels in schools, to make that food accessible, affordable to all people. And also, if I can remember, well, my mind has just gone blank because of all the pressure. But anyway, I'm happy to be here and happy to be part of this. Thanks.
Thanks for being here. Go back here. I've picked a lot of women. I'm gonna go. Good morning.
Hello, my name is Nick Begley. I'm a grad student at the University of Washington. I'm here particularly to learn and talk about more about urban agriculture, how we define urban agriculture, what that means. Is it rooftop? Is it community gardens? Is it full-scale, large hydro indoor model? And I think if we move towards defining that a little bit better, we could start to move towards subsidizing that movement a little bit better, like we do the traditional outdoor model.
Great point, great point. All right, I'm going to go back to the stage now. Thank you for... You remembered your other part.
The other part is just to make food waste reduce and help get food that's wasted. We're part of a food rescue program, which is very active in Thurston County. It's a great model for other states and counties to get some of that 30 to 40% of wasted food rescued and onto the plates of hungry people.
Fantastic. And that's kind of, why I wanted to be here today, because I think there's so many great examples of what's happening here in the Pacific Northwest that can be replicated and scaled up elsewhere. And I want to thank all of you for your comments and for sharing all of that with us. I think it's really helpful and it's, obviously sparked a lot of thoughts in my head. So thank you all. Now we're going to go ahead and get started with the program. So thank you again.